Hillary's the only member of the Armed Services Committee running. When the Republicans were still in the majority in the Congress, the Pentagon asked her to be the only U.S. Senator on a small commission to modernize the military. They trust her. She says we could bring a brigade or two home a month. We got to take care of the 100,000 civilians in Iraq. We got to take care of the Iraqis that put their necks on the line for us, our drivers and translators. And I hope you all agree with that. We have used the Army, the Marine Corps, the National Guard, the Reserves. It is so bad now. We are training Navy reservists in Army infantry tactics and deploying them to Iraq. It's time to bring them home. That's what we do. This is the nearest I can tell you about this. Suppose your next door neighbor's house burned and your neighbor had nowhere to go. You'd take your neighbor in, wouldn't you? We all would. And if you didn't have an extra bed and your neighbor had to sleep on the couch, it'd be just fine. And we'd all leave our neighbors here a month without thinking about it. Most of us let our neighbors stay 6 months if they had no place to go. But if your neighbor's still on the couch after 5 years, what do you know? It's not about the fire anymore. It's about not having to get off that couch. That's where Iraq is. It is not about the fire anymore. And it is time to get off the couch. We have to do this for the American military, for the Americans' well-being, for the Iraqis, and for the war on terror. We have got to do this, and she's the best qualified and best prepared to do it, and she will do it if you elect her president. And he said, oh, Senator, don't worry about my arm, I'll be fine. I went to West Point, I knew the risk, I was on reserve. My body's in a lot better shape than most people who got wounded over there, one of these roadside bombs. But she said, this guy said, I do need some help in getting my brain back. And what you need to know is there are thousands of people like that. Their brains get rattled in their skulls. And the neural networks that will enable you, we're about to finish here in a minute, you just walk out of here and not give a second thought to how you're going to get where you're going. There are lots of your fellow Americans that can't do that anymore. I met a guy in Texas who'd been in 2 years of therapy who got his brain back. The brain grew the networks back. Some will, some won't. But if you make her president, she'll stay with every last one of them until they get their brains back or we get the best we can for them. And that is very, very important.